Well, we came to Canada in 1967 on the Empress of Canada. We got to Montreal, and it should have warned me that it was going to be a perilous journey. The train wouldn't start. They had to get another engine. Eventually, we got to Paris on the 10th of October. There, we started to build another home. We had this little house that was half a house. I got a frog in my throat. Half a house which had a bedroom upstairs with a big landing and a kitchen, dining room, bathroom, and sitting room. Sitting room nevertheless became a bedroom because I have 5 children. And in the January, we came in the October, in the January, my mum and dad arrived. So they had to have a room. So there was 2 alcoves that my husband made into 2 little rooms, one for mum, one for dad. We nearly suffocated that summer. I think it was the hottest summer here. Anyway, needless to say, we lived through it. We tried to buy a house when we were in England that was $10,000. It was where the sisters used to live. If you saw the house now, you'd wonder how come it could be so cheap. But a year and a half later, we got it for $21,500, which had 5 bedrooms. Hallelujah. And a big dining room, big sitting room, big basement, big everything. So we managed to live there. That was in 1969. And we lived there for 30 years because I sold it in 1999. But to go back to when I started here, we came into Paris on the 10th, and I went to Penman's to get a job. It was just a little bit from where I lived because I lived on Willow Street. And Bill Labron, he was the guy that hired me. I started on the 18th of October in the sweater mill. And boy, was it a sweater mill. You had to work so fast, it was ridiculous. At least I thought so at the time. I didn't move that fast. And as I was learning, so the floor lady would come along and she'd be talking to us, explaining things about what we were doing and everything like that. But needless to say, I was busy watching my sewing and she cut the threads. So all the threads went through. We had to learn to thread them up on piecework because it was all piecework. Do you know what piecework is?
Can you fill me in a little bit more about it?
Piecework is when you have to, there's a bundle, say a dozen sweaters, and you get so much money for this dozen sweaters. While you were learning, you got day rate, but piecework is where you made more money, and you had to go faster and faster and faster. Well, I wasn't a very fast person. So as fast as I got to piecework prices, so they put it up. The union had not the union, they weren't in that. They put the prices up. So I had to go a bit faster. And I thought I was going to go sailing through the wall. But anyway, we eventually got to it. The workplace was strange because it was nearly all Italian, very few Canadians working there. And of course they'd be talking away in Italian and no time to talk or have a joke or anything because it's piecework. You had to go too fast. So it was getting near Christmas and I thought, oh well, I'll just sing some carols to myself. So I started singing carols in October. This little old lady up the line from me called out and said, you're in Canada now, you don't sing carols in October over here. I thought, boy, what a place. Maybe I should go back home. And then we eventually got on to piecework. And my husband, he was working at Masses. And when we came in October, he hadn't worked enough days or weeks or whatever to get OHIP, because you have to work so many weeks. I think it was 3 months or something to get OHIP. So here we arrived with 5 kids, me and my husband, with no medical things that all had to be paid for. Well, that wasn't too bad at the start, but come Christmas, my sister bought the girls a toboggan or a sleigh, one of the long ones that they could all sit on. So I come home from work this one day, and there's my daughter sitting there with her arm dangling. They'd been out on this toboggan. She'd smashed her elbow. No OHIP. Surgery needed. I thought, oh Lord, what were we going to do? You know, those days with only my paycheck because my husband was laid off, I thought I couldn't pay for no. But anyway, we take her to the Willet. And there was a doctor around, Dr. Maureen. Everybody said he was the worst doctor there was because he was an alcoholic. But he did that surgery for nothing. He never gave us a bill or anything for that surgery, which I always thanked him for.
How long do you think it took you to feel like, okay, this
5
is my
years.
home now? 5 years?
Yeah, 5 years to settle in. Mm-hmm. By then you were beginning to get the run of the place, because although we came from England and could speak the same language, as you might say, there was different meanings to different words that we used to say, like, you know, especially in the grocery shop, we used to buy tomato sauce. Well, out here, that's your ketchup and stuff like that, you know, and and the Italians used to say, yes, but you speak the same language. I said, no, we don't. Yeah. Not really. Yes, you do. You speak English. I said, yes, I speak English. They speak Canadian English.
And your accent, too. Like, you still have it, but I'm sure it would have been stronger when you first moved over, and that's almost acts as a language barrier.
Yeah, and the money difference. Like, we had pounds, shillings, and pence, and out here it was pennies and dimes and quarters and dollars, and it was all foreign to me.
Was it difficult to get accustomed to the way of life here?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty. Because it was different. Really different.
What do you think the biggest difference was between your home and then being here?
This layoff bit and OHIP. Because we had national health in England. And everybody got covered with medical stuff. But and you went to work every day. There was no such things as layoffs. You know, you got a job and you were expected to be at work. If you didn't go to work, you got fired. You know, but to hear about layoffs when you're told that you don't have to go to work till you get called again, that was something I couldn't get used to, you know. And shopping was hard.
Grocery shopping or just?
Yeah, grocery shopping. But it wasn't too bad once we could get to the big shops where we could go around and pick out what we wanted, you know. But when you didn't have a car to go, you had to go to the little store. But we had a little store on Willow Street, Gray's, and she was pretty good. When she wasn't busy, she'd explain different aspects of the money to me, you know, and that helped learn it and stuff.